Well, good morning. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live. We are live from my car because I felt like this is where I needed to be today. I've been, just to give you a bit of a rundown of my morning, because this is really important, and it actually, what's really funny, hi Liz, I hope you've got coffee. I now have coffee, not sponsored by, but best coffee ever. Hey Rebecca, finding it hard to read. Oh my God, look at my hair. This is hilarious. So I'm going to give you a rundown of my day so far. You'll love that my eyeballs have no curtains. Hello, Jen. We've got people walking in the background. Oh my God. So my morning this morning, I'm just going to move my, God, I feel, all right, you guys, I have to tell you something. I feel like when I don't have my eyelashes on, because they were coming off in clumps. Hey, Ricky. I feel like a boy. It is so hilarious. I love my workout gear and I love my hats and whatever, but golly, I tell you, I don't always feel particularly feminine. It is it's the silliest thing, and it's just facts. So my morning this morning, been at the osteopath, I've got oil in my hair, and it's really funny because, well, it's not really funny, but it's really funny because one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today, before we do all of the things which I'm going to talk to you about, why people buy, why they don't buy, and some of the things that might be surprising for you. I've got to tell you, I have got the most amazing fun thing that I've put together for you guys for this month, and actually right through to the end of April. If you have been wanting to know how you can market yourself like a rock star, create your own badass, industry-leading intellectual property from all of the amazing things inside of your brain, then that is fantastic and awesome, because I got the deal of the century for you. If you've had enough of feeling overwhelmed and stuck and feeling like you're just pushing out the same shit as everybody else, well, this is going to rock your world. We start with a 2-day immersion. I'm just going to put this, oh, hang on, Nick. Jeez, we don't need 2 links. We only need 1. We start with a 2-day immersion at the end of March, which is going to be amazing. And then we go into 5 whole weeks of accountability. So you get the learning, you get the training, you get the information, and then you've got the support to actually implement what you learn, which is a whole ton of fun. So that I wanted to talk about that with you today, and I was all like, all right, I'm going to get all sort of like dressed up and in, I really enjoy, and we're talking about like creating a bit of an experience, right? I really enjoy kind of like going into different costumes and wearing different outfits and really kind of, I guess, playing the part of an MC or a host, or the person at the front of the house, the person at the front of stage. And I definitely did not do that very well today, but that does not take away from how freaking awesome, visible the immersive experience is going to be for you. So you can find out more in that link. Good morning, Janine. How are you? Let me know that you guys can hear me. I can see that you're kind of like, some of you are popping in and you're hopping out and then popping back in. Please make sure that you let me know that you can hear me. Otherwise, this would be a coffee run live where you try to read my lips. And that would be kind of weird, I think, because a silent coffee run, that would just be sort of like us going like this. That would be weird. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank God, because that was getting awkward there for a second. Totally not your fault. That's totally me. I was a bit worried, actually, that maybe it was still connected to the car kit, and maybe my voice wasn't coming through. So, oh, lovely. Thanks, Rebecca. I could see you jumping out and then jumping back in and then jumping off and then jumping back in. I'm like, oh, shit, I hope that's not on my end. So, I'm dying of heat exhaustion. Let me just wind no, we're not winding a window down. No, we're not winding a window down. We're going to crack the door, and then hopefully I won't have unexpected guests. Rebecca, you don't look like a boy at all. Oh, thank you. I feel very, it's like my eyeballs feel very naked. It's really strange. It's like these little beady little peepers. Anyway, that's all, there you go. There's my insecurity showing up for a Thursday morning. How freaking awesome is that? All right. So one of the things that, I've been talking with clients about have been the reasons that people will buy. Now, we know that some of the reasons that people will buy online is because they've been following you for a while. Maybe they love what you do. They love what you have to say. They love your curtainless eyeballs. You know, they want to be in your world, right? They want to be, the people behind me are distracting me. Stop. I pressed a button on my car and then my steering wheel starts moving and my seat starts going, and I should just stop fidgeting. This is the trouble with my flow kicks in when I'm moving, and so I try and move my legs and my feet to get comfortable, and I press shit that I shouldn't be pressing. So let's just come back. So people buy for many reasons. And I guess like what we need to be thinking about is how, if you're going through an online launch, right? If you're out there and you're promoting an event, or you're promoting a program, or you're promoting a book, or whatever you happen to be promoting, the thing is that people aren't generally going to buy just because they feel like giving you money, right? If people bought just because they felt like giving people money, that would be a really cool place to live. But I think that is actually not what happens. So what we need to be able to do is to explain to people, you know, what's going on and why this thing that you're talking about, or this thing that you're doing, why it's really important for them. You've really got to take yourself out of the equation. So there's some things that you need to think about while you're putting your stuff out there. Now, the first thing that I always talk about, is that you've got to have the confidence to show up, front up, put your stuff out there unashamedly, and you actually have to be more, while you're launching, you've got to be talking about your thing that you're selling. For example, Visible, the immersive experience. I've got to say that over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where it can feel like all Nicola is fucking doing is talking about Visible, the immersive experience. Oh my God, can we move on already? But in my mind, I've said it enough, maybe by the time I've said it 3 times, right? But you might not go, oh, I need to find out more about that. You might need to hear about it 25 times before you kind of go, oh, maybe I need to think about this. I remember in 2013, I put on my very first big public event. It was so exciting. It was awesome. It was called Sales and Marketing Spy School, because I like to think of myself like Jennifer Garner in Alias. You know, Alias, the TV show. There was like costume changes in every scene, and I was just like, oh my God, you know, in an alternate reality, I am totally her in that TV show, getting to film all those fun scenes and do all that fun shit. And I just thought it would be so jam-packed full of adrenaline and action. It'd be totally rad. And yes, I'm an adrenaline junkie in any way. And so the name of the event was Sales and Marketing Spy School, because, you know, the way that you recruit a spy is, or the way that you need to market, right? You build out your propaganda, you get people involved, you get people onto the farm, and then you train them, for example, like as if you were in the FBI or whatever. And so that was kind of what I played into. And I remember having a conversation with my mentor before that event. And she said to me, she's like, so Nicola, what is the outcome that you want from this event? And I said, well, I just want people to have fun. I want them to walk away with a plan of what it is that they need to do. And then if they choose to want to work with me later on, then that's cool. What I don't want to do, because and this was all in the same breath almost as, you know, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't want to stand on that stage and hypnotize people into buying from me. I don't want to hold back from them in terms of what I'm giving. I want them to feel like they could walk away from that event and do the work and implement without any further input from me, unless they felt like they wanted it. So, I mean, at an event, there's only so many things you can teach and deliver, right? So you can't necessarily go and, you know, you've got 50, 60 people in the room. You can't go by each person's computer and make sure they're doing their ads right, or make sure they're writing their copy correctly, or, you know, I don't even have time and space to critique their stuff. But they knew exactly what they needed to do, and they knew exactly how they needed to do it. Then it was all just about taking action. So I said, I don't want people to feel pressured. That's not at all what I want. I said, there's got to be a better way of making sales after an event than telling everybody to run quick, run to the back of the room. You've either been in a room where you've seen this happen, or you've heard of this happening, right? Where you're in the audience and they're like, just make your way to the back of the room. We've got people waiting for you. You know, we've only got 20 copies of this book. They've got fucking boxes of them. You know, there's scarcity is one of the keys to making people buy, or right, to helping people make a buying decision. But if it's false scarcity, or if it's bullshit, and if you're using it to manipulate people, then bad karma is going to bite you on the ass, because that's just shit. Now, I am all for helping people, motivating people, you know, giving people every reason to buy. And there are some times where I will use scarcity, and it's always genuine, right? Hi again, Janine. You know, for me, it's kind of like, I call that the seagull method, right? It's just ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, I'm really happy to encourage people to buy, but I didn't want to be that person at the front that's all like, you know, you've got to go and do this, you've got to go and do this, there's only a certain number available, like go and talk to the people at the back of the room, they'll help you make a decision. And it's like, yeah, bullshit. You're gonna whatever. I thought it was completely out of integrity for me. It was not something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to instigate the seagull method. I really like that name. Thank you. I'm going to pinch that. And, yeah, it's just that, it's just shit, isn't it? Nobody wants to be that person. I mean, if you've literally only got 5 places available to work with people, and you're very genuine and open up front, it's not like, wow, you know, tomorrow there'll be 5 more people. That's horseshit. You know, you've actually got those spots, or you don't. And, you know, scarcity, you know, as people are getting a bit more cluey, I think, you know, people can smell the bullshit. And it's just, yeah, it is so off-putting, Sana. I completely agree with you. And I was like, I do not want to be this person. So this was something that I was very clear on. I was like, I want people to have massive value. Yes, I want people to work with me ongoing. And part of the reason for putting on an event is to help people get to know me in a room, so that they can either choose of their own free will to buy or not to buy something that I may or may not be offering. So I was like, right, I'm not going to do that whole pitch from stage. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel icky. I just don't want to even do that. And so one of the things that was suggested was to say, all right, well, if you're talking through your event and using different examples and talking about the results that people can achieve and the outcomes that they can get, then you probably don't even need to do this, you know, big pitch, right? And one of the strategies for doing this is saying, oh, you know, we've got Visible, the immersive experience coming up at the end of the month. It's really cool. We've got some people going into it, and maybe that's something you might like as well. So that was pretty much, except Visible, the immersive experience. See how many times I have to say this now, and now I'm getting annoyed at myself for saying it so often. Visible, the immersive experience. We were like, I would drop it in all the time, and what it does is it builds a bit of familiarity, right? And so people are like, oh, what's this about? Like, what are you talking about? It builds curiosity, but it's not pushy. It's technically called seeding. And so without going in and then browbeating and, you know, whatever else, is saying is like this time, limited time offer, and you get, you know, 3 for 1 tickets, or, you know, whatever the case might be. I was just like, no, I'm not down with that at all. You're right. Absolutely. Building relationships and using and talking about benefits. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, having said all of this, with any skill that you can learn, particularly in the in the personal development world, we've got this double-edged sword almost of things that are, you know, things that can be used from a place of manipulation. And to me, manipulation is where, you know, people feel like they have to keep buying to get that next bit of information. And then they have to keep buying to get that next bit of information. Or they are, like, I've seen this happen where people have had, they're literally on Centrelink or Social Security. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but they go to an event on the promise and under the proviso that they're going to feel motivated, excited, and whatever. And then for the whole entire time, they're being revved up, ramped up, and then they're being pitched a $25,000 or a $50,000 program that they can't fucking afford, right? If you're on government benefits, you cannot. I don't care what business you're in and how much somebody needs the help. That to me is morally reprehensible, to sign someone up and say, that's okay, you can just pay this off at like $400 a month, when that's probably half of their bloody security, like their social security check or their Centrelink benefit. It's just not the right thing to do. And then get them in the program, and then they actually have to buy something else further to that to be able to, you know, make money from it or to do something more. You know, to me, that's manipulation. That to me is looking at, you know, how can I make $1? I want to have, you know, $25 million in terms of revenue or turnover this year. Every time we make a sale, we ring a bell. That to me is straight out manipulation. Influence is the other side of this coin. So influence, however, is where, you know, the facts are the facts and you're entitled to make a decision. But you've also, as a leader, particularly in the PD world, you have got, I believe, a moral obligation where if someone is under real financial stress, you need to say to them, you know, go away, come back later, or go and look at all my free stuff, you know, which is a whole other thing, which we'll talk about in a second. You know, go look through all my free stuff. I've had people make tens of thousands of dollars from the free shit that I put out there. Not shit, the free awesome stuff that I put out there. There is so many ways that people can access you rather than getting them into financial strife. I just don't think that is the right thing. Right, exactly, Zana. It's like Centrelink is still under the poverty line. You're exactly right. And I know of coaching schools who get people in on a free info night, and then they sell them into a coaching program, like a Cert 4 coaching program, which I think is anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000. And they're basically the payment plan is where they're giving them half of their New Start check or half of their Centrelink check. It's just fucking wrong. Getting off my soapbox on that now. So influence, however, is the other side of this coin, where you have to follow through. I believe in giving, and my opinion is that, you know, you might, you know, shit, I don't know, you might make less money, but you'll be able to sleep at night. You know, I don't know. I just think that there is a whole lot more that we can do and help people with to be able to help them get the result that they want, right? Yeah, Rebecca, devour my free stuff. Absolutely. And then when you're ready, you know, come back. But I'm not, so one of the things that I've seen happen over the years, like we'll use Rebecca as an example, is, right, so I want to look at how people are motivated to buy, right? And one way is by moving people away from pain. So somebody might say to me, oh, look, Nick, you know, I'd love to work with you, but I just can't afford you. It's like, okay, cool. Well, these days I'm like, no worries. Exactly like what I said. Go look at all my free stuff. I've got some cheap programs that I run, you know, pretty much month in, month out. There's generally a lower end program that you can jump into. Go in on one of those, implement the shit out of it. And then when you're ready for more help, support, accountability, masterminding, pulling your shit out of your brain and, transforming that into magical stuff that you can put out there and make money from, you come back and let me know. I'm not freaking going anywhere. I've been doing this for 11 years. If you feel like the timing is not right or you can't afford it right now, then that's totally cool. So that's how I approach it. How some people will approach it is saying, well, the reason that you can't afford to do this is the reason that you must. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but there is a line, right? There is a line there where if I'm saying like the reason that you can't afford to do this is the reason that you should, I know for me that whenever I've been in sort of like financial contraction, every time I invest, every time without fail, every time I invest, I always make more money because I'm like, right, I better fucking implement this because I've got everything is on the line, right? And then that's like huge. So that's a huge motivator for me. And I personally like that. Like I really need that. I'm more motivated by moving away from pain than I am by moving towards a goal or by moving towards pleasure. So, for instance, I have got... Ooh, we're getting personal today. All right, so my backside doesn't look the way that I would like it to. Okay, so let's just put that there. I like it 90% of it, but there's 10% that I would really prefer to be a little bit more toned, a little bit more peachy, a little less hail damaged. Right? Let's just leave it like that. Oh, it's getting hot in here. So a little less hail damage would make me very happy. So for me, the idea of a peachy peach with a bit less hail damage and the idea of how I would like my backside to look in a pair of bathers is like, that's not motivating enough for me to go and push the heavy weights, to go and do all of the squats, to go and do all of the things that are necessary for that, right? But when I turn around and look in the mirror and I'm like, well, that doesn't look how I want it to freaking look, I will go and move my ass, hail damage and all, and go, okay, right, what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? Let's go lift some heavy weights and I will move fucking mountains, right? With this ass and my legs and my hips and everything else. So for me, that nice to have, whether it's $1 million, whether it's freedom, whether it's a smooth, free, cellulite free ass and whatever, that's one thing. The other thing though is, I've got to be in a fair amount of pain for me to be able to go, right, fuck this shit and, let's go. So that's that. Now, if we think about it in terms of your business and what motivates people to buy, I've just given you the clue of what's going to make people move faster. You've got to highlight the pain for them, right? So it could be that you're not building an audience that you want to work with. Maybe you've got clients that are needy and vampire-y and they're just sucking the life out of you and you took them on because you needed to make money. Maybe you are not producing content, so you're feeling invisible. Maybe you don't have the confidence. Maybe you're sitting there thinking like, holy shit, every man and his motherfucking dog are out there on the internet talking about all of the stuff that they do. How am I going to stand out? What am I going to do? Maybe I should just go back and get a job. Maybe I'm not really good enough. Everybody else is more qualified than me. Nicola has got the gift of the gab and can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, and I'm a little bit more slow and reserved. I'm an introvert. What makes me so fucking different? How my industry is so busy. I don't know how to niche. I don't know what to say, and I'm not making any money, and this is never going to work, and fuck this shit, I'm done. Right? If you're sitting there going like, yes, and on top of that, I'm feeling really freaking alone and this sucks and I just need a sounding board, then that level of, yes, Rebecca, I know you, you've got that level of pain, you've got to do something about it, right? And so for me, what I say to you is like, well, let's create confidence. Let's create a plan. Let's create clarity. You've got to remember your fucking brilliance. You've got to remember that you are amazing and you can pull all of this stuff out, and you've just got to find that peace within you in order to go, right, I'm just going to go do this come hell or high water. And Nick, I want you to be my cheerleader. I really want you to help me. I don't want to do this on my own. I don't know how to talk to my audience. Will you teach me? Right? So if I was to go out there saying all of that stuff, then, and visible, the immersive experience is the key to bridging that gap for you, then you're more motivated to go, right, well, I don't want to live, and I'm using my hands here, like, I don't want to live over here in a world of pain, because if you don't do anything, nothing's going to get any better, right? Nothing is going to get any better. So how can you, for your audience, how can you create and demonstrate that for them, and then say, hey, move over here to where you're achieving your goal. I'm the bridge that helps you go from here to over here, right? And then other times, and you'll find that more people are like, yeah, that's totally me. I want to be over here. What do I need to do? Let's go, right? So you've got to demonstrate that for your people in your marketing. Identify the problems and their challenges, get into their emotions. Like Rebecca's like, are you reading my mind? Yes, I know you. And then that's going to cause more people to come over and sign up for the thing that you have to offer, right? If they see that you can solve their problem, you're halfway there. So then the other way that people will buy is by showing them that they can achieve that goal. But actually, you are going to be, it's harder to motivate people who are kind of like living in this land of things are okay. Things are all right. I'm doing okay. I don't know what I need to do, but to try and get them moving towards achieving that goal can be a lot harder work, right? So how do we do this? It's really the bottom line is with everything that you're putting out there, you need to show them both sides of this bridge. We'll call it a bridge, right? There's no bridge there yet, actually. There's just two pylons sticking out of the river like this. Oh, shit. It's all right. It was just my... just my sunnies landed on the ground. So, here we go. I'm sitting under the bridge at the moment, and you've got one pole here, right? And then we've got the river. There's another pole there. And then there's another one over there. You can't see it. That was a really bad example. But it's a pretty view, right? Let's come back. And we're back in the room. So if you imagine that on the right-hand side is one pole on one side of the river. And then on the left-hand side, you've got the left-hand pole on the other side of the river. And there is no bridge. There's just poles. And your person is over here on the left-hand side of the river going, holy shit, I need to get over onto this side over here, and I don't know how to do that. You need to show them that you are the bridge, that you can bridge that gap for them and help them get from that side to this side. And you need to be doing this every day, right? It is not enough for you to just go and put out one email. It is not enough for you to just go and put out one post. It is not enough for you to even go and just do two, right? Because most people need to hear what you're talking about, like the visible immersive experience. I want someone to let me know how many times I've said that today, because that'd be really funny. They need to hear it between 7 and 12 times from you before they will even go and look at your sales page, before they'll even go and look at the opt-in page, before they even go and consume any of your stuff. They need to see and hear from you between 7 and 12 times. That's a lot, right? So what you'll notice throughout this launch, which I'm so excited about, I'm going to be talking about Visible, the immersive experience. I'll probably call it Visible for short because it's just far too many freaking words. I'll be talking about Visible for the rest of this month. And I'm just letting you know, it is the most ridiculously awesome program that I've ever created. I've been running it for the last couple of years. I've had people make millions of dollars from the stuff that we train, the stuff that we pull out and put in. And that's genuine. That is not clapped up horseshit. That's genuine. We've had people make hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars, and nothing. The people that make nothing are the people that don't go and take the action, which is why we've got the accountability following on after the 2-day immersion. But what you'll see me do, if you pay attention and look at it a bit like a case study, which if you're following someone and if you're thinking about working with them and you're kind of like, wow, I would like to be able to work from this, from the riverside. I would like to be able to work from the airport or on a plane or have this whole laptop lifestyle and, you know, have the time, freedom, money, energy, whatever, to do whatever it is that you want to be able to do. You better be going and case studying the shit out of them. You know, whether it's me or whether you buy from somebody else, it doesn't really matter, right? You should be feeling like you can emulate something through, like something that they're doing. You've got to be able to emulate something that they're doing. So look at the way that I do this stuff from a case study perspective, because I teach you exactly what I do, right? Exactly what I do, the exact process, everything. Sounds awesome, Liz. It would be amazing for you. So the thing that I do is I make sure every day when I'm in launch mode that I'm talking, actively talking with either my voice or the text in posts or the photos in the imagery that I create between 10 and 20 times a day. Please don't fall over. But between 10 and 20 times a day. And that's the thing that helps me. You don't have to do it that often. I've got some pretty hairy goals that I want to hit. So you might do it 5 to 10 times a day, right? And so that way you might pick up one person every day who has seen it, who has seen it enough times coming through their feed to go, oh my God, yep, all right, yep, Liz, shut up, take my money, I'm in. How do I sign up? Janine, you're amazing. Shut up, I'm in. How do I sign up? Zana, like, you're amazing. Yes, yes, yes. That thing you've been talking about, I'm so excited, I'm in. And that way, you don't have to have those conversations with people that are like, you know, the reason you have to do this or the reason you can't do this is the reason that you should, and things like that. So if we can look at different ways of building influence with our audience by using real scarcity, and the way that I personally use scarcity is, you guys, I'm only going to be talking about this for 3 weeks and then it goes away. I don't know if I'll run this program again that in this way. I'll teach Visible again because it's a 2-day live event, which is just the bomb diggity. And, you know, like I said, I've been teaching it for the last 2 years or 3 years. I don't know, a long time. And, yeah, 2.5 years. 2.5 years I've been teaching the Visible curriculum for. I've been teaching this in general for the last 11 years. Being this particular format, it's just in this time. So scarcity is genuine in the sense that after the 26th of March, you can't enroll in this program. It's gone. We can have like 100 people in there. We could have 20 people in there. Who knows? But the scarcity is real. So you've got to give people real scarcity, right? Real scarcity is important. There's some early bird options that we've got available for you. You can pay it on a 12-month payment plan. That goes away at the end of, I think at the end of middle of next week. You can't pay on a 12-month payment plan after the first week of this. Like, oh yeah, like end of next week. There is no more 12-month payment plan option. That is just, that's genuine. I'm not bullshitting you. That's legit. So give people a real and genuine scarcity motive when you're doing this. The third thing for you to consider, like I was talking about, is that was like my kids do the like happy llama, sad llama. Happy llama, sad llama. You've got to give people a reason why. You know, why should they buy your program? Why should they buy your thing? Why should they enroll in your coaching? Why should they buy your product? Why should they listen to you? You know, we don't necessarily want to go out there and say, you should listen to me because I am awesome, which of course you are. We all know this. We got the memo, but the people that don't know yet might not know that. So the reason why they need to buy is why. For me, it's because the internet is getting noisier and noisier every single day. There are more and more people coming into your industry. I think I read a stat that the online revenue and online sales, and therefore the online businesses and promoters, is set to something like triple over the next 2 years. It's insane what the predictions are in terms of where what the online space is looking at doing. So, you know, there's no better time than yesterday to get in and to get rolling and to start growing and building your audience and helping people, basically. The reason why, that's the reason why. So what's the reason why for your stuff? The next thing that they need to know is, or that you need to consider, is how are you helping people either move away from pain or move towards pleasure, and ideally both, right? How are you painting the picture of that, of their problems, their challenges, their worries, their overwhelms and whatever? And how are you painting the picture for them around them being able to achieve confidence, clarity, whatever? And then you've just got to be able to bridge that gap, right? Once you've got that, you're in a much better position, right? Yeah, exactly, Liz. Totally can. So once you've got those 4 things, then you have pretty much got the ability to help people buy. And then the only other thing that I want to put in here is frequency, right? I'm going to make a note of that because I didn't know what I was going to talk about today. I just had 4 dot points. It's like, oh, what are we going to talk about today? Other than visible, the immersive experience, I was going to talk about that. So the 5th thing is frequency. So the frequency, you know, I'll talk a lot about energy, and that's actually not what I'm talking about today. The frequency that I'm talking about today is the volume of how... Are you going to come back and hear my final words? So, sorry about that. My phone overheated. That's so annoying. So I'm just going to sit it here, hopefully in front of the air conditioner, and let's hope that that doesn't impact anything else. Hang on a second. Let's make that go. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. Come back. Come back. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right. So what I was just wrapping up with was with the coffee run. Welcome back. My phone overheated. It was sitting in the hot. I'm very sorry. So now we've got my phone perched in front of the air conditioner. Hopefully it won't overheat again. Have you got me back? I can see you guys joining in. Just let me know that you can hear me and that I'm not connected to the car, keep doing stupid things, and that you've got volume and sound, because I can't even check on my thing. Hey Janine, can you hear me okay? Phone died from overheating. Okay, thanks. All right, good. I've got you on the steering wheel, so... Oh dear. How do you know we're live? Isn't this the best launch live you've ever seen in your whole entire life? I reckon it is. I reckon it is. Okay, good. I think that should be a lot cooler now. Now I'm freezing. That's ridiculous. So, anywho, as I was saying, check out my automatic chair moving up. Is it moving up? There we go. As I was saying, the 4 things that you need to consider were 5 things. The frequency was the 5th thing. And the frequency is the volume in which you post, not your frequency, although your frequency is very important as well, but that's a whole different ball game. So the first one being how you create influence. The second thing is use scarcity. The third thing is give them a reason why. The 4th thing is know how you're bridging that gap. Hi, Sue. How you're bridging that gap between pain and pleasure, and that you're the bridge, or your program or your book or your live stream or your something or another, how is that helping them move from that point over to that point? And then you're good. And the fifth thing is the frequency in which you are showing up, the volume of posts that you're putting up, which is always underestimated and undervalued. So you've just got to keep going. Janine, do you post at particular times or space it out? I post all the time. And the reason for that is that most people don't see see all your stuff in their newsfeed. Unless you've gone in and you've turned on the notifications for when I go live or for when I post, and people can do that by selecting see first. So they could go to your page, select see first, and then you will come up in their newsfeed right at the top of their newsfeed. Most people don't do that. So the risk that you run if you're only posting at particular times of the day is that they might not even see it. So I would be posting just like, you don't even want to go, oh, when are my people online? Because they might not see the post go up anyway. So what most people will do is they'll get something in their feed, and then they tend to come over to your page, and then they'll go through and look at all of the things that are in there, right? So they kind of binge your stuff. They'll binge your content. They'll binge they'll binge your style tips. They'll binge on your confidence tips. They will binge on your how to accessorize and how to dress for your body shape, and whatever you choose, however you choose to educate people. For other people, the thing that we've got to remember is that people tend to use social media these days a little bit like Netflix. They'll go to what they want to watch and what they want to see, and then they will binge watch it. I just binge watched Your Honor on Stan. What a moral dilemma that guy was facing. That's a whole other ball game. That's a whole other live stream, actually. And for me, I was just like, okay, I just went straight to there. I didn't even look at all of the other stuff. I just wanted to watch that thing. So if you make yourself, you have the mindset, put the hat on of, I'm like my own Netflix show, and people can come over and watch me and binge on my content, binge on my stuff. Therefore, you want to try and keep them in your page for as long as possible, right? We've got to address their problems. You want to motivate them, inspire them, help them to get to know you. And to me, it's not about going, well, my people are only online at 9 a.m. because, what if they're not? I want to make sure that I'm just constantly coming up in people's feed. I would rather people say, holy shit, Nicola's posted again, than, who's Nicola? I don't even know who this is. Oh, I think I used to follow her years ago. Oh, look, there she is again. I would rather it say like bang, 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 because I know that every single post that I put out has value in it. Every single post. Whether it's a morning coffee shot, whether it's a, pun intended, whether it's a you rock post, whether it's I was just drafting a post before about my home gym, and I didn't post it on Instagram because my coffee was ready, and it was just like, oh, that demonstrates my lifestyle, because I'm all about build the life that you love, doing the work that you love with the people that you love, and if you want to work on a laptop, then that's great. So everything that you put out has that mentality of, I'm adding value. I'm not spamming people. I'm not annoying people. I'm adding value. And that's just what you got to do. Good question. So, Visible, the immersive experience is happening towards the end of this month. The link is in the comments again, because our previous live overheated, because, we're just so hot and awesome that we were tearing up the room, and my phone went no. So the link is in there. If you've got any questions about it, let me know. As I did mention, there's 12-month payment plan options. There are a ton of options in there. That 12-month payment plan does end towards the end of next week. I think that's the right date. It will have it in the page if you need to check that out. So that would be you, me, and a group of amazing people hanging out for the whole entire month of April, following on from a 2-day amazing immersion at the end of this month. On that note, my friends, You guys know what you need to do. I need to go have coffee. You need to get out there. You need to go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. But most of all, please, for the love of all things holy, remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesome. You rock. Mwah. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.